What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns doing yet another Mafia 3 trailer breakdown. Today, we're gonna meet the Marcano family. That's right, the Italian Mafia in New Bordeaux. And if you want to check out previous trailer breakdowns, New Bordeaux Tribunes, postcards, backstories, anything that I post regarding Mafia 3 can be found over here in the Mafia playlist. And of course, Mafia 3 is coming October 7th to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Now, before we start with the trailer breakdown, I want to go over what's in the description section, and I copied and pasted it to Word because there's a lot of information here. And this is what's in the video. Meet the faces of the New Bordeaux Mafia. The Marcano family, led by Sal Marcano, has maintained a stranglehold on the city for as long as many can remember. Four brothers, bound to the mob their entire lives, are at a crossroads. Sal's son, Georgie, wants to help usher in a new era even now as Lincoln Clay tries to tear the old ways apart. What is the next step for the Cosa Nostra, and who will take it? So yeah, that was the description section in the Mafia video concerning the Marcanos, which is linked below in the description section. Okay, so I know that seemed confusing, right? I was reading the description of the video, and the video itself is in my description section, so I hope that wasn't too confusing. Like one of those Russian dolls where one's inside the other. Anyway, so let's get this thing started. It opens like the previous videos, like Lincoln Clay the Soldier, Cassandra the Voodoo Queen, Burke the Anarchist, and of course last week Vito the Throwback, with the words, the Marcanos. It goes forward, shatters, and you see an image of the head of the Marcano crime family, Sal Marcano. Now, somebody mentioned this the other day, and I want to address it real quick. They were having issue with the fact that Sal Marcano has a southern accent, because we really got to hear Marcano talk in, what was it, the Heist trailer a few days ago, which I also did a breakdown of. And I kind of understand some people's issue there. The problem is that Hollywood has always typically portrayed Italian gangsters with a New York accent or even a Chicago accent, but in reality, there are Italian gangsters throughout the rest of the country. And with each part of the country, there's different dialects, especially in 1968. And there's still people in New Orleans, aka New Bordeaux, present day, that talk with a similar accent that Sal Marcano's does. So the way he talks is correct regarding the area that he lives in. He was born and raised in New Bordeaux, in the South, along with his brothers. So naturally, they have Southern accents. They don't have an accent you would hear in New York, for example, aka Empire Bay. Because Vito, he was raised and grew up in Empire Bay. Even though his family was originally from Sicily, whenever they came over, he was still young enough that he made the, the assimilation, to becoming a full-fledged American, living in Empire Bay as a kid, growing up, fighting for the U.S. in World War II. So obviously Vito has that typical Italian New York accent because he was born and raised in Empire Bay, which is obviously based off of New York City. Okay, so that's the difference there when it comes to dialects. And personally, I like the fact that Sal Marcano and his brother Lou have Southern accents because it makes more sense. So this is the head of the Marcano crime family, Sal Marcano. It pans forward to this, to control New Bordeaux. The Mafia killed without mercy. And the Marcano family was merciless. And I believe it was a previous New Bordeaux Tribune article a few months back, it's up in the playlist, where Sal Marcano and his brothers basically took down Giuseppe Carlo, I believe, who was in the 1930s the head of the Mafia in New Bordeaux, but because apparently either A, he killed their father, or else Sal Marcano killed his own father and made it seem like it was Giuseppe that did it. The Marcano had, like, what was it called? The All Saints Day Massacre, if I remember correctly, and they took out Giuseppe Carlo. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, and they took over. And ever since then, the Marcano crime family has reigned supreme over New Bordeaux. So yeah, they have not let anyone stand in their wake. And this looks like an explosion happening, as well as some dead bodies, and of course police on the scene. investigating another dead body and more police. So yeah, the Marcano crime family is pretty ruthless. And they also betrayed those who are close to them, which is, I guess, in their nature to, stab people in the back. But unfortunately for the Marcano crime family, when you stab enough people in the back, some people end up coming back on you and making you pay for that. So here is an image of Lincoln Clay and, let's see, 4 gangsters and one of the Marcano brothers. Now, I don't know which brother this is. And one of the brothers keeps slipping my mind. I believe his name is Tommy. He was the one that was featured in the reveal trailer a year ago. And I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. At first, I thought his name was Donnie, but apparently it's Tommy. But that could be Donnie. I mean, that could be Tommy. That could be somebody else entirely, another brother, because apparently there are 4 brothers. So not only did they betray those who were close to them, they also took over the city with fear. And you get a good image here of the rest of the Marcanos. In the middle is Olivia. Now, I don't know if she is a sister of the Marcano brothers or is she a wife of Sal Marcano. I honestly don't know how she ties into the Marcano family. But we did see an image of her very briefly. I believe it was maybe in one of the E3 trailers, or maybe it was in One Way Road. I don't remember, where she has a psychotic look on her face and she has blood on her hands. So she is definitely an important member of the Marcano crime family. But as some people have pointed out, she obviously is not an official member of the Mafia because she is a woman, because the mob is a fraternal organization. But she's still a very important, capo, very important member of the Marcano family. So it's quite possible she might just be a sister of the Marcano brothers, or she could be a wife of Sal Marcano, or one of the other brothers. I don't know. So she's in the middle. You have Georgie to the left, and that could indicate the fact that maybe, just maybe, maybe Olivia is his mom. I don't know for sure. If anyone knows, let me know below in the comment section. Of course, to the right of Olivia, you have Lou in his big, sweet, pink sports coat. And to the far left, I think that is Tommy Marcano. And then to the far right is the other Marcano, whose name I honestly don't know. And once again, if you know the name of the other Marcano, feel free and leave it below in the comment section. And that's another issue. I kind of wish this trailer had like little snippets of each one of these characters, like Olivia Marcano, Georgie Marcano, Lou Marcano, and then that way we'd know exactly which is which in the Marcano crime family. Okay, so here's a scene where somebody is clearly tied up, looking down, and someone's pouring gasoline around them. And that someone is, I believe, the other Marcano. Not Tommy, not Lou, obviously not Sal. So I believe this is the 4th brother that we know the least about, that one. So he could be maybe the 2nd oldest in the Marcano crime family, maybe like, 2nd under Sal, or that could be Olivia's position. She could be 2nd in rank. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but this is the other Marcano brother. And I believe he's obviously got Lincoln Clay tied up because a few minutes ago they had Lincoln Clay surrounded. So I believe that's the same Marcano right there. But chances are Lincoln's going to break loose and whip all their asses and end up most likely killing this poor bastard. Okay, so moving forward. But from the ashes of their victims, a new family has come together, obviously, because they murdered Sammy Robinson, Ellis, most of the Black Mob, left Lincoln Clay for dead, but he survived thanks to help from Father James. He recovered, and now he's amassing a new family to rival the Marcano crime family, which of course includes Cassandra, leader of the Haitian syndicates, Burke, leader of the Irish, and yes, Vito Scaletta, the protagonist of Mafia 2, who is the leader of the rebel Italians. All of them are coming together to take down the Marcano crime family. And here's an interesting scene I haven't seen in previous trailers of Lincoln Clay kicking open a door, either coming after somebody or trying to rescue one of his friends, lieutenants, from capture. I don't know what this scene involves exactly, but it was just interesting to add to the trailer because there's a lot of video in the trailer that we've already seen. But I always like to add new screenshots from stuff that we have yet to see. Okay, so and here's another scene of Lincoln Clay speeding around New Bordeaux in his badass muscle car, as usual. And in a previous video, I think it was Cassandra the Voodoo Queen, I mistakenly thought that Lincoln Clay was knocking on a door, but many of you pointed out the fact that he was just, hitting the stick like he is right here. He loves hitting that stick. He loves gassing his muscle car around the streets of New Bordeaux, whether it is Del Rey or the Bayou or the French Ward. He kind of likes, driving around in his muscle car. All right, so here's a pretty cool shot of Lincoln Clay along with Vito about to go get into some action. And here's an interesting scene where it looks like Burke and Vito are about to get into it. Burke does not look happy to see Vito, and I get the feeling that it might be mutual. So obviously some of these characters like Burke, Vito, Cassandra probably have some history of each other, and it's most likely not good history, so Lincoln's going to have to find a way to bring these guys together to unite against the Sal Marcano crime family. Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Our frenemy. Whichever. So anyways, hopefully you'll be able to work out differences between Burke and Vito, whatever that happens to be. And of course, this is an interesting scene because it looks like it's opposite to one of the scenes I talked about in the previous trailer. Probably also the Cassandra Voodoo Queen trailer, where it was originally Lincoln who had the knife, and Cassandra was taking the knife from Lincoln. But it looks like in this scene, Cassandra's giving Lincoln the knife. So maybe they're just having a nice back and forth. Like, oh, here's the knife. No, here's the knife. No, you take the knife. No, you take the knife. I insist. Anyway, so they're out for blood. Yes, indeed. And of course, family isn't who you're born with. It's who you die for. The motto of Mafia 3. And this is a pretty cool shot of Sal Marcano in the back enjoying a nice cig. And an image of the rest of the Marcano crime family, which I think, once again, is Tommy on the far left, Georgie, Olivia, sexy in the middle, sexy psycho, our sexy little psycho here. And, of course, Lou over here on the right, and the other Marcano over here on the far right, and a Paradiso Hotel appearing in the background. Obviously, the Paradiso Hotel Casino is going to be an important piece of Mafia 3 because it's been shown and mentioned a few times over the past few months. And yes, Mafia 3 is coming October 7th to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.